Wilson Morales from Black Women TV. Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. Obviously, it's good to see you working. It's good to see you on a different project. What went into saying yes to taking you on this role, and how much of a deep dive did you do into that history from that time period?
Deep dive. I've never seen anything like this for myself. I've never seen a black woman in a Western like this, right? I've seen a few examples, but not in this deep way. And I always want to do something that will challenge me, but also just kind of switch things up. I want to kind of be like a chameleon. And I don't want you to think like, oh, she's the fun sister that's gonna, be the tech genius. I want you to just always like follow me on a journey of like difference. And then um the deep dive that I got to do with it helped me to find Cathay Williams. I'm not sure if you're familiar with her story, but she was a woman who hid in um the Civil War in a men's army to protect herself as a black woman, and it was so intriguing to me, and how brave it was for her to do that. So as I dived into the cowboy scene and seeing, how prevalent black people are to this history, this history that's mostly wiped out and not celebrated. Also finding the gem of Cathay Williams of being a real life Buffalo soldier was a treat for me.
Mhm. You've worked on different projects, but for you, this is a big role. Obviously, you're on the page 98% of the time. So, what's your takeaway from Anthony's direction that helps you out as an actress moving forward?
Man, good question. I think for me it was just his trust in me that I was able to do it. Funny enough, like uh he didn't really like mess with me too much in my process. He just trusted that I knew how to like carry the film. Um and yeah, like just taking like Surrounded is actually the first film that I did in the series of films that I've put out in the last 2 3 years. So I did that first, then Silent Twins, Aisha, and Wakanda Forever. So in a way, like the the opportunity to lead a film like that was training me for the future, in a sense. And um yeah, it just showed me like when someone trusts in you and trusts in your ability and lets you fly, like you can really just grow as an artist. So I'm thankful for that.
Mhm. And then working with Jamie, he's been around a long time. Started off as a child actor. Obviously he's grown into an incredible actor. What was that dynamic like? Because you guys are pretty much have to have some of a chemistry to make it work on screen.
Yeah, it was easy, man. When you work with good artists and good people who care about their work, it's easy to find that chemistry because they're all just after the same thing. So yeah, Jamie's a great actor. Privileged to work with him, and I want to work with him again.
Before I let you go, what do we see you next in after this?
I'm preparing for a movie called In the Shadows. We're gonna be principal photography will be next year. Representing Ramla Ali, a young Somalian boxer, on a great journey. So yeah,
So
switching
you
it
get
up, switching it
you're,
up.
you're training, you're putting on weight. Is that how it goes?
Yeah, you gotta eat, you gotta box. I'm boxing 3 times a week until it starts stepping up to like 5 days a week. So yeah, I'm preparing very well.
Well, congrats on this role. Congrats on obviously the work you've done so far. We look forward to seeing you in other projects. Keep it going. We're here to support wherever
Thank
you're at. Take care. Stay safe.
you. Bless you. Bye bye.
Wilson Miles from Black Women TV. Hey, Anthony, how's it going?
How are you? It's great to meet you. I feel like
Good.
you're at a
We
doctor's
actually met.
office.
Where?
I feel like
we
you're at
we
a doctor's
actually met
office.
some. We met some time back during I guess back in December during I think the Christmas tree lighting. When you told me you had
At the
Monster coming
Rockefeller?
out at one point. Yes, at
At the Rockefeller
Rockefeller.
Center? Right.
You know,
Amazing. Yeah.
here we
Nice to
are.
see you
Got a
again.
new film. So let's get
Yes.
into it. What went into taking on this project?
I've always had a love of the Western genre and the classic tropes of it. you know, for me as a filmmaker, I exploring the sort of social context and characters who meet at these crossroads is sort of true to both Monster and this and moving forward. And I just love the setup of this film, and I love the opportunity to bring this sort of underserved perspective to the forefront of a Western.
You know, you're bringing a story about a woman disguised as a guy, so forth. You know, with Letitia Wright, can you talk about working with her, and also with Michael K. Williams, and obviously with we didn't know at the time would be one of his last few films.
You know, Letitia is a really unique actress and creator. She has a power inside her that is rare, and it comes from an incredible amount of experience, sort of beyond her years. And she brings it to the screen and brings it to the forefront in this nuance of an edge that she can sort of turn up and then dial back down within the same couple seconds. And you really sort of like feel it in her breath, in the way she sort of breathes. I was just so impressed by the way she prepped for this movie, and her dedication to the development process and making sure things were authentic and felt real to her. You know, Michael Kay and I were friends for 20 years. He was a dear friend of mine. I was honored to sort of finally get to make a film with him. So sharing some space with us today is a photo of him from late 90s when he was very young. It sits in my office. You know, Michael was the opposite of the characters he played. You know, he was a loving, gentle, beautiful human being, but he played these mean, horrible people. Watching him get into that character and watching the Michael that I know sort of disappear and become this other person that would use trust and use skin tone and sort of the shared experience of his character and Mo's character as a tool of manipulation for his own good, and watching how despicable that character is was the opposite of who Michael was. So, you know, that's great acting, right? Watching the man disappear into the character.
You know, you do a movie like this, you know, where it's a few characters and a landscape. And obviously, from what you've done with Monster, what's your takeaway from the films you've done so far, specifically this one, that helps you out as a director as you continue to move on with other projects?
Well, there's no hiding in these two movies, you know, and I think coming from the short form, you know, the critique on directors is always that they can't get performances. And for me, you know, I developed a lot of big studio movies, big world building films, you know, where you know you trying to push character to the front, but it ends up getting pulled to the back. And I wanted to finally make some films where character was first, and the character and the landscape sort of support one another. Whether the landscape is the judicial system in New York or the vastness of New Mexico. I wanted to make sure that there was an intrinsic relationship between the two, and I'm really proud of the performances in both my movies. I think you learn a lot from saying yes, and watching actors and listening to actors, and not trying to over control them, but to do the right amount of prep and then give them that stage, you know. And I think this movie demanded that, you know.
Mm-hmm. And then there's, you know, Jamie. You know, Jamie's always been great. I've watched him for years. You know, you got a lot out of him. You know, was there anything more to the table that you think you got from him outside of the script?
You know, I think Jamie's one of the great underrated actors today. You know, he the way he disappears in the characters, the nuance of performance, the way that he can use trauma as a justification in this character for the wrath that he's creating, and honestly, the way that he eventually listens and the way he sees Mo as not something he thought she was, even though he thought he saw her in her true form. That's Jamie's gift, you know, as an actor. You know, he's reactive. He's in the scene. He's not just saying the lines. He's in the character. He really disappears in the character. And that starts in his prep and the way he sort of envisions and the research he does. And that's a gift. You know, not everybody's that way.
Anthony, congratulations on the film. You know, obviously keep
Thank
it
you.
going. We want to see more of your projects. We'll be here down
Thank
the
you
road.
very much.
Root for you. Take care.
Thank you very much. Thank you.